Welcome back to this really wonderful, touching, grounding show. Ades, thank you so much for coming in. And this is not gonna be her last time, right, Hassan? She's already grooming to be a regular.
Thank you.
So you chose this song. Tell me why.
Well, when the whole thing with Charleston came out, again, I was just devastated. I was out of my body. I didn't know what to do. I was angry. I need to do something. I need to move. And when I first met you, I told you about this theory that hard times require furious dancing. And Alex Barker came out with it. I've been following that theory. Yes. From the very first day I picked up that book as a freshman in college, I was like, anytime anything happens, I need to just let it all out. And I just, fell upon the song. I literally just found it a few days ago. And what I really love about the art is just that's exactly what they're doing. They're dancing furiously. And what happened when you're in slavery in America, at least, you couldn't really speak your native language.
Yeah.
You couldn't communicate. So they would chant or they would hum and sing hymns that were unrelatable to the white man and to white women. So this really just touched me, like almost like ancestors speaking to me, because they're not really singing a song, there's not a hook or anything, it's just chanting, and that's what we know what to do best. We know how to chant and sing and call upon God when things are not looking so good. And this is, I was in my room, I was just dancing, and my family came along as well. My sister, she's a dancer, and it's just, I just felt comfortable and I felt love, and it just calms my soul when I listen to it. And it just caught my eye instantly. And I fell upon it. So again, it's just like divine alignment. So that's the reason why I chose this song today.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's my go-to. Like literally, I had to post on the Soulful Afro page. I said, all this heaviness, I need to dance. I need to move. I need to because once I started to feel like I wasn't moving, I stood still for too long. I felt stiff.
Right.
And the emotions were coming up again. Like I found myself crying in the midst of my workout and walking in the street. Like, like the tears would just, you look around and you go, oh wow, we're really just, or you saw something really beautiful and you're like, why aren't we talking about that?
Right.
So we need to figure this out.
Right.
One of the things about dancing and joy and movement and love, I'm going to be attending the Cumbre de Mujeres Afrodescendientes in Managua, Nicaragua, from Friday. I leave earlier, but it's Friday to Sunday, and it's 200 plus women from Spanish-speaking countries, and even some from the diaspora, myself and some other folks. Brandy Waters is one of the folks going with me, and it's sort of talking about what is happening to Black women, and and what are some of our demands, what are some of the things that we want. So es muy emocionada por estar en Nicaragua en unos días con las compañeras de la red de mujeres afro y mujeres afro de todos los países para compartir y poner y demandar nuestros derechos humanos y como mujeres negras en este mundo. So, mucho que contar cuando se regrese. I know I'll have tons of stories to tell when I get back. So, closing out, we just said dancing is our self-care. What else? What is the message that you would have not only to the Soulful Afro audience, but to your generation? I mean, I'm not so far removed from you, but our generations are different. And, how I see it, I think your group and sort of be, with Tony and Askia, we've come very naturally together because we see the importance of all voices coming together. And I think an intergenerational conversation is necessary.
Absolutely.
I think allowing to speak when you need, like you said, even in the church, people need to swear, and if it's in the context of what they're feeling, we need to have it done.
Absolutely.
We need to be able to hug each other, see each other, look at each other in our faces and say, hello, my brother, hello, my sister. We don't do that enough. Sometimes you're walking in the street and women look at each other like death versus, you know what, if you like her shoe, tell her you like her shoe. There's nothing wrong with saying, I like your shoe.
No,
So what are some of the things that you think we need right now?
At least for my generation, I think that we need to love on each other more. In today's age, and even just in general, when you do something, whether it's amazing or not, even if you do something small, people will raise you up on the pedestal for that, and you can get carried away. You can get power trippy, you can feel like you're better than people, and I think that we all need to come down back to earth and just love on each other and support each other and give each other positions and resources, but really taking it easy. I think even for me, I'm just have to be here, and because at the end of the day, our lives depend on it to do this work. I think we just need to love on each other more. We need to support each other more. Recently, I've been telling people I love you.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's this thing, especially even being African. You don't tell people. It's like an unsaid
You're not
thing.
supposed to
You're not
say
supposed
it.
to say that. Like in my family, we don't hug in kids. Like this is something we do. So, like, see you later, Dad. Yep. See, what I mean? But show me some love. Like, I love you. I want you to know that. And I think just taking a break.
Yeah.
I recently traveled to New Orleans. I've been to Baltimore. Even those visits weren't breaks. They weren't vacations. I was actually doing work on the ground. It was just good to get away from Boston and just remove myself and be in a different environment and almost feel vulnerable. Like I don't even know where I'm staying today. I don't know what I'm doing today. So just really taking risks and also taking care of yourself. If you need to take a break, take it. That's something that I don't do often, but I'm learning how to do it. It's just saying no to certain things, because there's so much happening in the city. There's so much happening around our nation involving Black lives, and it's like, as a Black person, you feel obligated. Like it's almost like a moral obligation to be everywhere, and you just possibly can. I think.
And I'm glad that you're doing that because when I started, it led me to get sick because I thought I needed to be everywhere, which meant long days, sleepless nights, because I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want anyone to think that I was less committed.
Right.
I didn't want anyone to think that I wasn't, doing what I needed to do. And at the end of the day, for us to last and for me to last and for you to last, I had to pause and say, okay, I can do this today. I don't need to be there today. I don't need to be there tomorrow. And then that has helped. So how we care for ourselves, care for our community, here everything seemed like I grew up in an environment where you could reach to people quickly. Here you have to plan when you're gonna meet.
Right.
Plan where you're gonna talk.
Oh my
Plan
goodness.
when you're gonna, like everything needs to be planned. Nothing comes naturally. And so we need to sort of figure out how we cannot I can end up going an entire week without seeing anyone that's not someone I work with because you become so isolated in the busyness. So we need to make an extra effort. So I'm glad that you are already aware of it in a different way than I think I was at your age. To really know that if you want to last, you need to pause. And I think I'm doing better at that now. Like I see Nicaragua, I know it's going to be a lot of work, but the fact is I'm going to be removed from that everyday hustle and bustle here, and just in a different hustle and bustle in the sun, by the water, with other folks, and I can be my full self all day. I'm looking forward to being my full self all day. Here, I have to, who's around, who's going to criticize, who's going to say this, who's going to upset me, I'm going to be with women who have similar experience, live similar lives, fight similar struggles, and I don't need to put down any part of my complex self in that setting. So I'm looking forward to that. So closing out, kind acts. Anything that stood out this week that sort of you saw it or you felt it or you heard it and you were able to move on. But primary kind act of the Happy Father's Day to your father, my father, to Hassan. So the kind act has been that I have a wonderful father. So that's one of my first kind act. What about you?
I second that. My father's awesome. Totally awesome. Really awesome. And this week, I started doing training because going back into self-care, a lot of people, we are the ones, we actually quit our jobs because we couldn't be our full selves at our jobs. Being in the corporate world, even being at a predominantly white institution, working there, it's just like, you know what, I'm done with this. And we did the same thing, hundreds of people, young Black people in the nation that just quit their jobs and fought for Black liberation and really just studied a little bit. So now that I'm getting back to work, I'm going to be working with Afro-Latinos and Black young people at Mission Park. I'm going to be teaching that to 10-year-olds.
Wonderful.
So this week I was doing training, and it wasn't just necessarily a kind act. It was just these children, they grew up in Mission Park. A lot of these children have gone through a lot of things, and just seeing the way they persevered through that. I'm talking about from the ages of 5 to 12. Amazing. just absolutely amazing. The way they speak, I mean, they're extremely smart. I mean, speaking proper English, speaking 100, like going back and forth with the Spanish and the English. Say, I'm sorry, I forgot you don't understand Spanish, and I'm just laughing like I didn't know what she said. It's just so beautiful to see them and be amongst them and being amongst young people who look like me. Because I've never really had that privilege. I've been working with children most of my life, but it's never been just 100% Afro Latinos and Black people. And it's just like the Afro Latino diaspora is like really calling me. Yeah. And especially ever since I met you, I told you that we had that conversation. It's just like everywhere I go, I find myself falling into that category or falling into that group or space. So I'm definitely looking forward to working with them. I'm definitely looking forward to learning from them. And I'm excited that I'm going to be getting back to work, and I'm going to be working with people that I've always wanted to work with and people that look like me, people that understand me. And giving them a piece of something that I didn't have when I was younger, especially the historical part of it. Because a lot of them, I was even having 5-minute conversations with them. Oh, I never knew that.
Exactly.
I don't know that person's name. Who's Fannie Lou Hamer? Like, I never heard of her.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're gonna learn this summer, and it's like, yay!
And it's good. Like my nephew recently. This is last year. He just graduated from middle school. Congrats, Christian. And I remember he was like, Auntie, I'm not doing another piece on Martin Luther King. He wanted to do someone else. Like he was done. He's like, they want you to do Martin Luther King. I'm not doing Martin Luther King. Right. So yes, my kind act is the fact that we still all got up the next day. We still all got up the next day. Every Black person of African descent who is dealing with the Dominican Republic issue, the Haiti issue, the Charleston issue, the ongoing Tamir Rice issue, the ongoing Black Lives Matter issue, the ongoing Black Girls Matter issue, we are still rising and going to those jobs, the ones that we want to go to and the ones that we don't want to go to because we need to make the money to survive, and we are getting up. And that to me is a kind act, because the way it is coming down at us, we should all be in a corner not wanting to move and leave, because you never know. And the fact is we are getting up. So that's the general kind act to me that I think for the week. So I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
I'm a huge fan, before I even met you, of your writing. Check out Ade's blogging on the Huffington Post Black Voices. You are already, a leader. You're not a leader in the making. You're not, you're there.
Thank you.
And you have my support. I'm here for whatever the group needs, because I think it can't be pocket stuff. If we're not making the connections among the issues and amongst ourselves, then we lose out. That's how we burn ourselves out. That's how we lose our footing, and that's how we allow others to come at us, because they think, well, if she's not doing this and she's not saying this, and it's like, no, this group is saying the same thing I'm saying, that group is saying the same thing I'm saying. So, and we're already on our way to collaborate, because you're going to be doing the conference with us. So thank you for joining me. Thank you all for tuning in today to another show, Soulful Afro with Yvette show, with our special guest, Adebukola Ajao.
Thank you.
From We Are the Ones, and from the Huffington Post blogging Black Voices. And I will not be here next week, but you will be hearing from me, and I'll be doing some videos from the meeting in Nicaragua, and hopefully sending some love this way, and then be back in the studio the week after. So thank you once again. Thank you, Hassan. To all the fathers out there that were listening, happy Father's Day to you. Keep it real, keep it truthful, and most importantly, keep it soulful. See you soon.